Hey guys, BrewCraft here, and on today's episode of Myth to D&D, we're going to delve deep into the ocean as we look into the Kraken, a legendary maritime mythology creature. Now, since Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition already has its own version of the Kraken, we're going to be making a young Kraken. But before we even get to that, let's go over the maritime mythology lore of this creature. The Kraken is one of the most enduring and terrifying sea monsters in maritime mythology, often described as a gigantic, tentacled creature capable of dragging entire ships beneath the waves. Its origins trace back to Scandinavian folklore, particularly from Norway and Iceland, where seafarers told tales of monstrous beings lurking in the deep, waiting to strike. The earliest written accounts appear in the 13th century Icelandic saga Odvar Odr, but it was in the 18th century that the Kraken gained more detailed and popularized descriptions thanks to naturalists like Erik Pontoppidan. These stories may have been inspired by sightings of real-life giant squids, which are rarely seen but can reach lengths of over 40 feet. In ancient lore, the Krakens are feared not only for its size but also its intelligence and aggression. Sailors spoke of enormous whirlpools forming in the ocean as the beast surfaced or submerged, a result of its massive body displacing the water. It is said to dwell off the coasts of Norway and Greenland, rarely surfacing but always lurking beneath the waves. Some stories describe the Kraken as so vast that its back could be mistaken for an island. In many tales, ships that dropped anchor on what they believed to be land were actually resting atop the beast, doomed as it awoke and descended into the depths. Visually, the Kraken is often depicted as a colossal cephalopod-like creature, with long, powerful tentacles lined with rows of suction cups and a beaked mouth at its center. Some interpretations give it glowing eyes or multiple limbs, while others lean towards a mix between an octopus or a squid, with leathery skin and a body large enough to blot out the sun. Today, the Kraken remains a popular figure in fantasy and myth, its image tied closely to the mysteries of the deep sea. While modern science has revealed much about the oceans and its inhabitants, the notion of an unseen leviathan hiding in the abyss still holds a powerful allure. Even over time, the Kraken evolved from a feared sea demon into a symbol of what seems to be basically an untamable ocean, such as literature works from Alfred Lloyd Tennyson's 1830 poem, The Kraken, and in modern media, such as in movies, games, and novels. Now let's convert the Kraken into a D&D creature, but its more younger counterpart, a young Kraken. If you like videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and like, as we're trying to hit our 1K subscriber goal, and you'll be the first in the know when new videos drop and new free D&D resources you can use for your campaign come out. Thank you. The young Kraken is a huge monstrosity and chaotic evil. Armor class of 17 via its natural armor and a hit point average of 195 or a 17d12 plus 85 roll. Speed of 20 feet and swim speed of 65 feet. Strength 23, Dex 11, Constitution 21, Intelligence 14, Wisdom 16, and Charisma 14. It has saving throws and Dex of +4, Constitution of +9, and Wisdom of +7. Skill proficiencies and Perception of +7, and damages resistances to cold, fire, and lightning. Has condition immunities to grappled, paralyzed, and poison. Its senses are blindsight of 120 feet and a passive perception of 17. Its languages is that it only understands Abyssal and Primordial, and it speaks nothing, at a challenge level of 10. Amphibious is its first ability. The young Kraken can breathe air and water. Ink Cloud has a recharge of 5 to 6. While underwater, the young Kraken can release a cloud of ink in a 30-foot radius. The area is heavily obscured for 1 minute or until a current disperses the ink. Creatures in the cloud, when it appears, must succeed on a difficulty class 17 Constitution saving throw or be blinded for 1 minute. A blinded creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself upon a success. So at will, the Kraken can go ahead and release a smoke cloud within a 30-foot radius of it, starting from the edges of its own token. So if we were to measure from right here, the ink cloud will reach around this area area here and a radius around itself. Anyone who steps into that radius while the ink is still there needs to pass a DC 17 Constitution save, otherwise suffer from blindness until they pass that save on the beginning of their turn when they reroll it after a fail. Tidal Aura is its last ability. While submerged, the young Kraken generates a pulsing current. All creatures within 15 feet must make a difficulty class 17 strength saving throw at the start of their turn, or be pushed 10 feet away and knocked prone. In water, this equates to being tumbled or disoriented. So let's say this entire map, by the way, is underwater. We're in the Kraken's lair. The orc swims up here to around where the Tidal Aura would trigger. The orc must now make the DC 17 strength save. If they failed, they are knocked away and they are put prone. For actions, we have the multi-attack. The young Kraken makes 3 tentacle attacks. It can replace 1 tentacle attack with a lightning pulse if available. Let's go over what those actions do. Tentacle is a melee weapon attack with a +10 to hit, reach of 20 feet, and goes for 1 target. It hits for 3d8 +6 bludgeoning damage, and the target is grappled. It's a DC 16 to try and escape, but until the grapple ends, the young Kraken can't use that tentacle on another target. So, whenever you're doing this encounter, make sure DMs you determine how many tentacles this thing has so you know how many you can manage. For demonstration's sakes, all attacks will land. We're going to test the damage real quick by rolling a R3d8 +6. And reroll a 20. Doesn't do too bad damage, but it does grapple you. DMs, you can decide if you want to assign that DC 16 to just a general D20 dice roll, or tie it to a skill or attribute of some sort. The choice is up to you. Remember, if this is coming from a multi-attack, this does anywhere between 2 to 3 tentacles, which can start stacking up damage for a challenge level 10 creature. Lightning Pulse is the next action, which has a recharge rate of 5 to 6. The young Kraken unleashes a surge of bioelectricity. All creatures within 30 feet must make a difficulty check, 17 dexterity saving throw, taking 8d8 lightning damage on a failed save, or half as much on a success. Water amplifies the pulse. Underwater creatures have disadvantage on the save. So let's roll that 8d8 to go ahead and simulate the damage. It's about a 31. Now remember, if you go ahead and pass that difficulty class 17 dexterity save, it halves that damage. However, if you're underwater, which you more than likely are if you're fighting a Kraken of any sort, you're at disadvantage, meaning you're going to roll 2 dice and take the lowest number. Lightning Pulse as well does not check for a hit dice. It is an immediate action that will deal damage upon contact. Finally, we have Swallow Whole. With a recharge of 6, the young Kraken attempts to swallow a medium or smaller creature it has grappled. The target must succeed a difficulty class 17 dexterity saving throw or be swallowed. A swallowed creature is blinded and restrained, has total cover, and takes 66 acid damage at the start of each of the Kraken's turns. If the Kraken takes 30 or more damage on a single turn from a creature inside it, it must succeed a difficulty class 15 Constitution saving throw or regurgitate all swallowed creatures. So let's say the orc has been tentacled and grappled by that tentacle, and it's being held hostage. The young Kraken can now use Swallow Whole to go ahead and devour them. It's going to gain the attributes of the action's description, and then that orc will need to go ahead and do at least 30 or more damage in a single turn while inside. If he does, he's going to go ahead and force it to make a roll, and if the roll fails, he will exit along with any other creatures that have been grappled by the tentacle and then eaten as well. Remember, while you're inside, you're taking that constant 66 acid damage. In this case, it would be 20. It's a pretty hefty hit you take on the start of its turn, so be careful how long you stay in there. And that will be it for our young Kraken. Bit of a shorter creature, but not all creatures have to be at least 3 pages long. I hope you enjoyed the young Kraken. As usual, all resources can be found in the description below in our Google Doc if you'd like to use them in your own campaign. Absolutely free. Video on the left is the latest video we came out with, where we went over how to completely construct and make your own D&D 2024 5th edition character sheet. If you're ever struggling with that, you can watch that video there to help you. And the video on the right is YouTube's recommended. See you in the next one.